we will have the Sentinels starting off on the defender side, while we will have the Immortals on the attacker side.
Yeah, and this is something I believe, considering this is now Immortals' pick, the side selection fell onto the Sentinels, and so they'll start us off on the defense.
Yep.
And we are seeing the Omen substitution come out, and Sinatraa hopping off of the Sova and moving on to that Phoenix, which we've actually seen before at the 100 Thieves Cash App tournament.
That's right. Into this round now with pistols. Asuna going with the Ghost as well as Koler, also known as Swade for this round, and it's going to be Koler that gets the first kill. So a curveball did not pay off, but Dapr is also still waiting there. And that's the second time here that he gets a 3Ks with pistols before he gets stopped by Thief. Now a 3 versus 2. The spike is still on the back here of Thief as they're moving forward. One just under the window. They're going to hear the sound too. It's just going to be very hard. Now Genghsta caught in a reload. Thief jumping in. Gets a second kill off the zombs. Evens it at a 1 versus 1. Woo! A 4K! The kill after 6. The pistol for the Immortals.
Listen, I was about to say that Dapr feels like the cipher that she tells you not to worry about, but Thief came out swinging. What a 4K from him, and that'll open things up here for the Immortals, of course. It did feel like after Dapr got that 3K, Sentinels had it in the bag, but when you peek one at a time between the smoke, it's Thief that'll steal away the night. Now they'll have the SMGs online. Asuna's still thinking about what he wants. Opts in for a Bucky for a quick second, but then gets a Phantom, the round 2 Phantom from Asuna. Pay attention to him.
Yeah, and what's changed too for Asuna is instead of playing the Omen from the previous round, he's playing a Raze. And one thing I noticed, I thought it was just a one-map thing, but usually Koler is a Cypher player for this team. He used to be a solo anchor hold here towards the A side, but now I guess that they have Thief coming in as a stand-in, as a tryout. He is the Cypher main, and Koler is okay to use Brimstone as a secondary option.
Now we are seeing the smokes go down, of course. Koler trying to peek his way through. It's the shock bolt as well to try to get a little bit of more information to see who's going to yell out on the other side. Sinatraa, of course, is the one that waits in the tuna can. But now the push comes through, and they have to go in blindly as the smoke is down. But Thief's on the other side of the map. He's already poking his head through towards A, and there's nobody there. So Immortals, they're looking to peel off. The utility and the information that they gathered was not enough for a push towards B, and now it's a big long-haul sprint over towards A, but no one's there.
That's true. It's going to be fully open for them to make it inside that site. Big shout out to the chat too, letting me know my correction as well. It was actually JC Stanny that still played as a Cypher, so that never really changed for Koler in the end. So now they move inside this site. We're going to get the spike looking through here at the Tetris plant, actually. They don't even get a wall up at the same time as well. I guess because they knew somehow as they cleared inside the site that nobody was there. They want to keep the walls and the smokes for later. But as the clock is ticking, everybody's just walking very slowly here for the defenders of the Sentinels because they just want to look for exits at this point.
Yeah, playing it a little bit more safer. We saw Dapr there with the shorty. Not much he can do unless he gets up close and personal, and does not look like that is on his agenda. His to-do list is, of course, move to the next round where he will get a little bit more involved. And for the side of the Sentinels, they're playing it a little bit safer. Sick, though, however, in a much better position with the shorty, but it is, of course, for Immortals. The pull back through dust and back towards the wishbone. They'll funnel through. Another round on the board for the attack, but, of course, third round signifies a full buy from the defense, and now Sentinels will have some weaponry to play with. We'll see what they end up choosing and what the default site positions are.
Yeah, and that's actually interesting that you're going against an eco round on that second round, and somehow in that round, everybody stays alive, right, going into the third. I'd like to see the money to see what's going on here into this round, if we can, for the observer, if he's able to catch up to the broadcast with the delay. But it'll be nice to see if... I'm sure we won't get an upgrade, at least on the attacker side, for the Immortals. But for the defenders right now, there you go. Phantoms across the board. We have the Bulldogs still for the attackers. And it's Sinatraa running through. He gets the curveball. He whiffed a lot of shots, but finally connects for the kill onto Thief.
Okay, I have a feeling that Sinatraa is the developer of the game, because the only time we ever saw that was when the developers were schooling the loaded GG folks on this map specifically. But it was the Raze play that was sent through the portal, not the Phoenix. We are seeing Sinatraa adapt a little bit of his own style. Koler and Bjor will open up onto the site. Around that the defense bot, Sinatraa will get the refrag. And now with that spike down, they got to retake the site.
Definitely, Instinct does get the kill. ZaM as well onto Genghsta, so far so good for the retake of the site. It's only up to Bjor right now with the Phantom in hand. So they are onto the spike, and as soon as he looks right through the entrance, Sick is waiting for him, pops him in the face saying, "I'm the better Sage," and a defuse comes in for the Sentinels to make it 2-1.
Listen, I think Michael Jackson had a song about that. It was called "The Man in the Mirror." He was upset with the person on the other side and his reflection. And Sick, he's like, "I don't like that guy. I'm gonna take him out." Bjor, of course, is the one that ends up paying the price. He's not actually a reflection. He's a pro player in Valorant. And entering into round number 4, it is, of course, Immortals. I'm not quite sure if they've got the economy to buy, and as soon as Phantom tells me otherwise, that they do have the credits to purchase some weaponry. So they will still have the ability to compete, but for the Sentinels, their goal is to take down Immortals this round, to dwindle their economy, and bring them back down to pistols in round number 5.
Smoke's down.
Smoke's coming down here from Koler. That's going to be towards the entrance of the Octagon for them to try to contest to the orb if they want to, because even Genghsta brings out the Owl Drone, but they now kiss Owl Drones as one is thrown back from ShahZaM. So ShahZaM switching from the breach onto the Sova into this round. Zombs also has a raise. Sinatraa with a curveball, spotting 2, and now they don't go for the orb anymore. They decide to fall back, but you still have the raise of Asuna inside the hookah, but Sinatraa waits for him, gets the headshot, and that is going to be the B side cleared. But we're going for take 2 at Long B here, Simo.
You know what I like from Sentinels is that they're committing so many resources to one site. When they hear all of this utility, now, to be honest, that is a double-edged sword. If they commit all to B, but in reality it was just one person throwing utility and really just faking it, that could mean a deadly A push and then they lose control and they've got to retake. So really appreciate these reads from the Sentinels that are saying, okay, we hear the utility, it's a B push. Let's force that and anticipate and get the refrags, but they're already seeing that Immortals have made their way onto the site. Hot hands come through, refrags come through, Sinatraa trying to shoot through the smoke, but won't find anyone. Now, they'll try to get that spike down. Oh, it's the run and back, and he gets stuck there in the orbital strike.
Oh, no.
But ShahZaM, he's gonna find 2, and it's the defense with another round on the board.
Definitely such a nice try there for the attackers to come through, but a great job for the Sentinels to hold it back as much as they can. Yes, to run it back, he died from it with Sinatraa, but at least he's able to get that information out to let ShahZaM know where the last 2 players were for him to come out and get those 2 kills. Not even a spike plant coming down here for the Immortals, so that does not secure 300 credits for each player across the board. So at this point, I think for the attackers, we will be on an eco. Yes, we are. So we have Bjor here only with the Sheriff. Nobody upgraded to anything else. We have a couple of classics, maybe Ghosts at this point too, but we'll have to see it as we get through the players. And ShahZaM gets the first kill there onto Bjor.
Man, the Sentinels, they've got some top dirty fraggers on their team. They'll dry peek anything, and they'll do it again. For the side of the Immortals, they are, of course, on the pistol buy. It's just exciting to see somebody swing the angle, get the frag, and be the one that is victorious. For the side of the Immortals, they're obviously looking to buy in the next round, but quite honestly, looking at how this round has unfolded, they haven't really made it expensive for the Sentinels. No one's fallen yet. It is near a close, flawless round if Thief can get a frag or 2, but as he swings, he's going to be at the other end of a barrel from ShahZaM. A couple of Sheriff shots connect. He's going to find Sick, which is a good headshot. And he find another.
The dream of the Flawless is over. A nice shot there onto Sick, but then Dapr gets the wall bang for the kill. So no, he cannot get another. And look at that money right now. It continues to skyrocket in terms of the credits for the defenders of Sentinels. They're going to be able to buy this round, maybe into the next. Yes, Sick might be on a low buy after that too, but overall it's going to look good if they lose the next. So they're looking good in this economy here on the defender side. And Genghsta and company upgrading this time after that previous save. And they're looking to be grouped up again for another attempt for this push towards this B side. So you have that that Brimstone that's very close. You're probably going to see that smoke happening where that trap wire is at Octagon, and we'll see if we can take that orb this time.
B-combo early from Genghsta. See if anyone's going to dry peek down long. We saw Sinatraa do it before as he hopped in through the portal and found a frag on Dust on the other side. But it's the Owl Drone that'll destroy a tripwire, and really that has been kind of the use of it recently. It'll find information, yes, but when it gets rid of a tripwire, it is incredibly valuable. Zombs, though, and Dapr will find 2 quick kills. Genghsta with the shock bolt finds Sinatraa in the tuna can, and that can will be wide open for Immortals to plant the spike.
Yeah, Neural Theft, it spots them right now, so they're going to play the retake so far. And because they were able to get this area, it was because actually Sinatraa wasn't playing close to counter with an Owl drone. But now the Hunter's Fury to come out from ShahZaM, and it connects onto Bjor, unfortunately, at that point, and that should be that spike down now picked up by the Brim.
Okay, the reason why I'm laughing is because they both did it at the same time. I almost had to lose myself as Genghsta was on the path to get an ace, but they actually popped Hunter's Fury at the same exact time. I was wondering if I was hearing double in the audio for some reason, but it was in fact just Genghsta and Sinatraa, or sorry, not Sinatraa, ShahZaM, trying to mirror each other. And I think only one ended up with the frag. I believe it was ShahZaM on that Hunter's Fury. But 4-2 the scoreline. We are, of course, at the half of the first half. And Immortals, they don't have the weaponry to buy, so they'll be on the eco, of course.
Yeah, so as they go on the eco, that barrier is about to come down too, and you see them are trying to work for this control towards this hookah early into the round. But they're not really wanting to make so much noise yet because they know how aggressive Sinatraa could be. As now they go for that double peek, and it works out at least for that trade.
You know what I like about the Sentinels roster? They swing together, they die together. Unfortunately, that's not really the case when Dapr doesn't die. But at the very least, he's trying to get the refrags there and maybe even a little more. Now you're even seeing Sick here too. They end up getting the res. Shock Bolt trying to make it difficult. The smokes go down. Koler's there from the other side, but nobody jumps out. They're still trying to fight for control here. Sinatraa goes for round 2, but he's taken out with a 1-2 punch. And now it's just down to Koler with the Sheriff. And he's back in behind the elbow, the Sheriff, in a dream.
At least he has a spike. So actually, we're walking back here towards that spawn side. Oh, ShahZaM was waiting for him. Gets the pick. He falls down. And slowly but surely, Sentinels are slowly edging away here from this lead versus the Immortals at this point. I saw an Omen come out, Odin rather come out, but that was probably by accident at that point. And thankfully here on a game like Valorant, you could actually right-click to resell your weapon and get what you need.
You know, I don't think it was by accident. He may just be toying with us, you know, giving us a little sneak preview of what he's going to do on the attack, because that's really where he likes to use the Odin a lot more, quite honestly. And so, so far, not going to be the case. Sticking to that Phantom Recon Bolt. He gets an early jump through the portal, just trying to get a couple of those early shots in. But it's Koler back up to full. Here comes Asuna. It's a face full of rocket here for Dapr. And now ShahZaM with the quick shot. Can't connect, but he gets involved. Genghsta, though, will be his downfall. And now here comes the retake as the portal has control of the site.
And now an orbital trying to come down too. You have a big flank coming from Sinatraa at the same time as well. This is not going to look pretty here for the Immortals as Zom does get the kill onto Asuna. So if even up on a 3 versus 4 rather, now make that a 4 versus 2. The spike finally has been planted. Zom is still stuck inside the spawn. Even location revealed there from that recon bolt. So that is going to be the call, possibly to just hold down towards that spawn, unless Sick can get a kill, but he doesn't. So at this point now, impossible dream moving forward here for Zoms. He's even going to let himself get spotted for the other guys to just shoot him down.
It's one of those rounds where there's almost no point of saving since your economy. Like, ShahZaM and Zoms are at 9k, okay? You guys are okay. You guys are fine. You know, it's when you start losing round after round that things get a little scary, of course. But like you said earlier on, they've got the economy to really stay afloat. If they lose this, it's 2,900 in their pocket. If they win, it's 3,000, of course. So they're not really too worried. And so you don't really need to save in that matter unless you're really being super frugal. But if there's one thing I know about the Sentinels is that they would rather die than save a weapon.
Once again, we're attempting towards this B-Long. It seems as though it's a repeating history for the Immortals, and it hasn't really worked yet. The other time we had actually Sinatraa jump through the teleporter, and it was a perfect bait for them to get the second kill down towards that B, and they forced that res early on the attacker side. But now the orbital strike's going to come down early towards this B. A rocket to come out, two from a sabotage rather, and Asuna gets two as an opener. Neural Theft to come down as well. All 3 players now spotted at this point. You are saving your weapons.
Listen, when Asuna does stuff like that, it makes Fortnite players want to come to this game. It looks so athletic. It looks so cool. Just soaring through the air and you dome someone in the head. It looks amazing. But What that does mean for the Sentinels, however, is that they're stuck in a 3v5, and it does look like they may not want to contest. Sick playing really far back, ShahZaM looking for exits with the op, but how often are you going to see Immortals push into an area that they haven't scouted out earlier on? So it's pretty obvious that they'll funnel back in through B long, keep things safe, and the rest of the Sentinels will keep their weaponry as their economy is starting to dwindle down round after round.
Yeah, and especially that the round was a heavy investment coming in for the Immortals too, because it took a while for them to actually get some rounds going on here in this first half after losing like 5 rounds in a row. So at this point, you want to fall back with everybody alive still, so the economy can move on into the last 3 rounds of the half. So very well done here at this point, and there you go. Yeah, they did lose 5 rounds in a row. That gave a chance here for one more to try to catch up into this point of the first half.
So 3 rounds remain. And then we swap over to the half, and based on the pulse of this match is that regardless of a map being defender or attacker-sided, these two teams are just relatively evenly matched. They're going head-to-head, they're butting heads, round after round. It goes Immortals, it goes Sentinels, it goes Immortals, it goes Sentinels. So we'll see how, we'll play it by ear, we'll see how these halves swap and who kind of has the better half. And for the start of Sentinels, they had 5 rounds in a row, but it's now Immortals slowly catching back up.
And now that we're finally switching things over here for the Immortals. Couple of times here, Thief was lurking towards the showers and he got picked off, but this time they're actually going for a double workout towards the shower side. And now as they spot nobody rather, and they're moving in towards short A and they haven't spotted anybody either again, we're actually walking back towards B. It seems as though they really want to work this B side for the Immortals. How many times have we seen A? I think maybe once when we had the spike plan towards Tetris, and that was it, right? So at this point now, Asuna is going to be at the point to try to open up inside Hookah again.
Yeah, and I like this utility used from Dapr. He has a lot of his utility set up towards A, and then the rotate back over towards B, and he's going to take out Asuna, who tries to get a little athletic once again. ShahZaM from behind makes it sting with the operator, and it's all down to one final player. Genghsta, who's got a dragon in his hand and looking to breathe some fire. He's got to walk through the obstacle course of death. Shock bolts being thrown at his way, and it's Dapr to seal the deal on his fate. A beautiful 3K for him and a 6-4 scoreline for the Sentinels.
Yeah, ShahZaM not missing his shots, at least on that hold and that B side. I mean, they didn't have that much of an execution going in. They wanted to go for the surprise factor for the Immortals with the Sato charge entry from the raise of Asuna. It worked before because he had that mid-air headshot when he came out. I think that was onto Sinatraa, right, under that window. I could be wrong. But at this point now, they wanted to do the same thing, but immediately got punished out of that. And surprisingly enough, too, at this point now, usually you could see a double operator setup for the defender side for the Sentinels with Dapr moving it up with ShahZaM, but they've really kept it as one operator so far for their side because it's been working. They didn't need to go into that type of recurring strategy.
Oh, wow. Sinatraa, he just loves the use of the portals. He may be the only person I've seen use it consistently. He'll use the portal, he'll use connector. Okay, I get it. It was run it back as a cheap use, like of course he's gonna use it. But he gets a frag, and now it's a 4v5. Genghsta evens it out though with the read on the Hunter's Fury onto the opposite Sova, and now Thief finding Dapr opens up the B site.
That's right, that's the operator down 2. They opened up the B side. They're moving in right now. The spike looking to get planted, but Sinatraa has already rotated towards the elbow. Nice mauling on the ground, so he'll never walk through this one. Should be an easy plant coming in for the Immortals as he's waiting for Zombs. Speaking of Sinatraa to rotate, it's only those 2 right now in this 11th round of the first half. Operator now picked up 2 at this point, and you can see Sinatraa just ringing some shots and already falling back towards that spawn, and I think they might want to move together to try to save these weapons unless they get kills immediately here. Pre-fired shots, and they do. First one to land onto Pure. 2 versus 2 now. Or 3 versus 2, sorry. My overlay's a little bit broken. And they're going to try to move in. They get the frag onto Koler as well. That clock is still ticking on that spike. They have one towards the Octagon and one towards Hookah here for the Immortal. Jumping through close range. Thief wins the fight. Please pull up. Zombs is sticking it. Then gets off and gets the kill, but didn't get it halfway, unfortunately, there.
No.
So that's not going to be enough time for the defuse. And it's going to be the Immortals to take it.
I love that retake, and you see it again. We saw it previously in that defuse where Zombs was like, I'm just going to stick it, Sick, you go ahead and you deal with the 1v2, except this time it was Zombs again, but he was paired up with Sinatraa, who was confident enough, but when you're at close range with the operator, there's only so much that you can do. I wonder if he doubled back and grabbed the Phantom, if they would have been able to tag team it there. But still, I love the gusto from this team because they just play so aggressive and they're in it to win it.
At least he didn't get the defuse, but he got the teabag before he died, right? So just to add a little bit salt to injury, salt to the wound, and to say, look, you guys got this round. It's not over yet. We're still up ahead by 2 for 1 map, as 2 kills rather into this round. Sinatraa gets 2.
Who is this man? Where did he come from? Okay, I know where he came from, but I'm so thoroughly impressed with his ability to dismantle top 10 teams in NA. We're seeing Dapr here. He finds a couple of shots. I have a feeling we may be looking at some of our new kings of NA.
We'll see. I think new kings of NA is kind of soon. We still got to see them fight against TSM quite a few times before. But at least Zombs and Sick are able to seal the deal with a flawless 7-5. But when we're looking at this tournament so far, I mean, it's looking good for Cloud9 having to upset against TSM. And then you see how the Sentinels are doing so far. We know how T1, where they were at the T1 versus T1X Nursery Gamer Showdown. It could be anybody still on that North American #1 spot. Very close behind TSM.
Well, TSM's out. So
yeah, for sure. But you can't discredit them for all the other events that they've won.
Yes. I forget where I heard this, but it does feel like there's a little bit of rock paper scissors. Like at the T1 showdown, Code 7 took T1 really close. T1 was still able to take it 2-1, but we saw Code 7 get, they gotta hand it to them. Yeah, they gotta hand it to them. Okay, they gotta hand it to them. So there's a little bit of playstyle variety across teams, and so. You're right. I'd love to see Sentinels play against the more teams, but so far, it has been an absolute joy. And that joy is in the form of Sinatraa. He just drive peaks, he gets aggressive, he gets involved, and he ends up with 1, with 2, sometimes none, but usually 1 or 2.
That's right, and even exciting is just this series. To be able to witness this best out of 3 that continues to stay close here between the Sentinels and the Immortals. We're just in for a treat now. We're continuing the treat. Actually, it's a never-ending bottomless cake that we're eating, and we're having so fun getting fat eating it. Now the wall's going to come up, and we have a bunch of smokes happening too. I love this execution, actually. It's a full wall, so you can't see from heaven, you can't see from you can't see from anything. You have to push through the smokes, and Asuna gets picked off there by Zombs.
Wow. He actually is going to find 2. They'll get that spike down, and it's up to Immortals now to push back in, and they're going to be faced with a world of hurt. Only Bjor ends up with a frag onto Sick, but at this point, it may be too little too late. Of course, it is going to be 1 kill for him. Heals himself back up to full, and now he can still re-peak this. That is a visual bug, of course. It is not another teammate that is hiding behind enemy lines. It was still 3 members. Yeah, no, it was just a visual bug. It was still the 3v1. Yeah. But great round from the Sentinels, and that'll open their pistol up. They'll force up here and potentially extend themselves to a 4-round lead, which is huge because they want to close out this map and move on to the semis tomorrow.
Yeah, so as I was saying, like that execution that they had towards that A side for the attackers, the Sentinels, was just beautiful. Because putting that wall towards the U on a pistol round, I keep saying it, but I'll keep on saying it. The Sage wall on pistol is so good because it takes so much time to actually shoot it down with your pistols. You have to knife it out. And if you shoot it or do the knife, you get the audible knowing that somebody's towards you, but it still gives you enough time to focus to get the spike plan towards the APC. And because you have the line of smokes from the Tetris side, all you need to focus on is run through smokes and the showers, and they already had 3 guys there to pretty much watch it. So a great round there, great execution on the pistol, and shark darts at least to start here from Genghsta, but unfortunately, Koler loses the fight to ShahZaM.
Yeah, and he's a pretty important member on the Immortals roster. Of course, they're still 4 strong, so they can turn things back around, but it's the anti-eco for them. They don't have weaponry. It is the opposition that are pushing in, guns blazing. Genghsta going to be one of the members on the site, but he gets taken out very quickly by Sick. It's the spike being planted. Bjork trying to get involved here, and he's already past the Tetris, looking to make a line and take it all out, but it's pretty deep in for him as Sick will just blindly shoot through the smoke, ride his coattails, and take him out. Now it's all down to Thief, and he's got a shorty, but on the other side are 5 Sentinels members ready to take him down.
Yeah, Bjor, as the frenzy, was on a mission to try to get that Phoenix that was down to about 10 HP only of Sinatraa. And at that point, when he went through the smokes, he actually elbowed the other Sage on the other side of Sick, and that's how Sick was like, oh my god, watch out, Sinatraa, and spamming through it as well, and finally saved him. But at that point, what is more important is that Sentinels are able to get that second round. Nothing really coming through for the eco there for the Immortals team. And into this round, it's going to be a nice upgrade for them here on this defense. But on the attackers, it's a bonus round.
I like how Sentinels fight for orb control. You know, it's something that I'm finding is very consistent. And you're seeing Immortals, they're actually trying to adapt to it. 2 towards Showers, 2 towards B-Long. And it's the Sentinels that have the same exact setup. Immortals giving a little bit more control, but little do they know it's Sinatraa who's poking his head through and is being leaded by the Owl Drone. Looking at Dapr's perspective, though, he's trying to see who's in the site. He'll lose his life and his Bjor as well to follow up with a frag onto Sick.
Yeah, and they even left the spike down towards that fountain side, so they push down, they can actually see that. Actually, yeah, it's being pinged. So Thief pinged it, and is like, yo, the spike is over here. The rotate's coming across already. He's trying to get the first shot. Nice Frost Orb on the ground, actually. That prevents ShahZaM from moving forward. They even let a Cyber Cage down just in case they lose the control of that spike. Camera to come out at the, or sorry, it's a Recon Arrow to come out at the start, but Thief still wins that fight against ShahZaM.
Yeah, now down to the 2v5, and Immortals members are starting to triangulate onto the position. They've got themselves a double-man peak there, and they're up on the racks on the side. Bjor will take him out. Sinatraa, the last one standing. 33 HP left to his name, and it's Immortals that know... No, they don't necessarily know exactly where he is, but they smell that something's cooking. Sinatraa just trying to hold on to the Spectre. Will he end up peaking? Oh, here he comes. And it's just the breakable box. Bjor seals his fate with the penetration, and it's Immortals starting to climb back.
Yeah, and I thought that they knew that he was actually hiding there, because when they were spraying through that box, he was actually getting hit all the way down to 30%, and it was actually a kill coming in from the spawn side that kind of saved him. If not, they would have kept spraying it, and he would have died. Yes, the fate was still the same. It took a little bit longer, but at that point, if they were able to win that second or third fight there towards that boulder, we could have turned things around there for the Sentinel side. But nonetheless, it was still a great round coming through. A little bit of a mistake for the Sentinels to push forward with that with the spike earlier on towards that B side, and that sealed their demise. But going into this one, they still have money to work with because they didn't go for an upgrade on that previous round.
Okay, so let's talk about the pulse here. They're not fighting for B-Long control of the orb, so that means that Thief can push in and start to scout things out. They've already executed on towards A. The wall is up in U-Haul, but it's Koler that is there to mow him down from the side. Sinatraa will be the one that gets the refrag, but look at this. Thief already there as Koler sets up an orbital strike and is in the open arms of Zombs. Koler actually answers back. What is happening? ShahZaM and Zom, they will also try to find some frags of their own. And a crazy round, but Immortals gets the better of the Sentinel.
Koler answered from the grave, and that single spot at that closet outside the showers was never spotted, and he basically landed all of his shots long range to everybody trying to push forward from that short A, landing his shots. We talked about him. We basically blew him up. We tooted his horn on that first map, how good he was. And there you go. He comes in with a 4K into the round. Even on top of that, wasted the res going in from Sentinel's side.
You know, I think this is a very important tournament for Thief. He's, of course, a new stand-in for the Immortals, and for him it would mean the world if they take this to map number 3, sorry, and take it all the way home to take them to the semifinals. Of course, the Sentinels, this is an important tournament for them too. They want to start to earn their place in the top 5, and so both teams are fighting for the right to be at the top of the NA throne, and it's going very neck and neck between these two teams.
Satchel charges as the Sage is stuck inside that corner. Sick, is trying to fall back, able to do so finally. And actually, he even uses heal on top of that, too. You see it's on a cooldown at 24 seconds. He only has 40, so the rest of them are not trying to book it towards this A side. It is pretty much an eco going on for them at the same time, too. But Koler's in a position once again at that view. But a Cyber Cage is actually up. That screens his vision. He still manages to get the headshot onto Dapr. Are we at least going to be able to get the spike? Yes, we will. Mission accomplished as Koler gets the second one here into the round.
No. You hate to see it. They were just able to have every single angle covered. The setup was great from Immortals to hold on to that site, or at least try to take it back. for the side of the Sentinels, they're looking at a full buy in the round to come. They will have some weaponry, and it's ShahZaM going to be purchasing himself an operator, looking to do some damage from a distance, and already starting to set up, with what looks like towards B-Long. They changed their mind, dropped that spike, and now it's going to be ShahZaM looking down the showers.
Yeah, and I think the difference here of how you're seeing Sentinels trying to take control of this long B, when they actually group up and they try to work that area, they still have some presence towards A, but not only one player lurking. They actually have 2-3 players playing there, which means they're okay with not taking early control of Hookah at the beginning of the round.
See Sick here. Very tall task for him as he's all alone by the fountain. Still no control from Immortals on that orb towards B-Long, and it's on the opposite side that Sentinels are working their way forward. A lot of tripwires set up. ShahZaM, don't think he catches that one with the Owl drone and still going to continue to push forward. Doesn't find anybody, and it's funny enough, Koler in the same exact position as before, waiting for the push-in, and it's that exact angle that netted him multiple kills in previous takes on this map. Sick, gonna find one onto Bjor. That might open up the B site. They've left it completely open, and it's Steve lurking around trying to find some frags.
Yeah, they're looking. They didn't know if a second player came out, so Sick looked out there, but the timing's perfect here for Thief. He could get a perfect backstab here onto Dapr as well as they're about to bump chest.
Oh!
He hears the footstep. This is going to be so huge. There is going to be a trap wire, but meanwhile, Genghsta does get the Hunter's Fury. Now he shoots a little bit too early, but we know the commitment is coming inside this A side. At least it was a spike that died early with Sick as well. Both Sagers are actually down. We're trying to get the spike plant, and we do finally.
Oh, this is a great nade from Asuna. He's going to try to take it out, but it's the Molly looking to burn them alive to a crisp in the vent. They'll back away. Now potentially looking towards heaven, waiting for that smoke to subside. A shot misses. Koler grazes him by the cheek from ShahZaM. They still need to push in. That spike's ticking. Asuna going to take out the first. It's going to be the run it back from Sinatraa, looking for a couple of frags, still held up in the showers. They're going to clear out U-Haul. ShahZaM with one, now backing away, looking towards another angle. ShahZaM with a second, back into U-Haul. Gets taken out by Genghsta, and now it's the 2v2. Still going to be Dapr on the opposite side. He pushes up. It's Genghsta that gets shot from behind. Sinatraa with one, Sinatraa with two, putting us at 10-8.
Yeah, I like the play there from Sinatraa as well with the running back. Not only does he get the information too, but knowing where they all are, he calls it out for ShahZaM. Okay, we have a couple of guys rotating from the pipe. Even on top of that too, it was actually Zombs, right, that was playing right by the pipe side on the post plant situation, and he actually put that molly down. So there was plenty of information already to not give Sinatraa the opportunity or not give him the need to come out to trade with his team. So he just held out towards the showers as long as he could. As soon as his teammates started falling down in a 2 versus 2, you play the crossfire setup. He baited his teammate towards that cubby of the A side, but he still swept up the 2 kills for that. So great teamwork for that Sinatraa play.
Yeah, and that has to be off the back of great communication, and we're seeing that from Sentinels. They push up and gather inches on all sides of the map. They get okay, that was okay, Dapr. Okay, we'll forget that. We'll forget that ever happened. Get your camera back. Hopefully get a new camera in place. But back to the Sentinels. I really think that their communication is so key to their success as they push multiple fronts and leave Immortals guessing where they're going to end up going, and that is key into playing the attacker side.
Yeah, now it's going to be them right now for the attacker side of Sentinels. Trying to lurk a bit towards the showers, but we do have Sinatraa that's spotted here by a recon dart. Smokes is coming down from Koler. He's 1 kill away from an orbital strike, and he's trying to peek out right after that. I don't think the Owl drone saw that much information as Koler killed it early, but he's going for the molly first, and he already has Sinatraa down to 26, and a collateral coming in from Asuna.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. Zombs will find their one on the refrag. You'll end up taking Asuna, but I like this connector play. 2 funnel through. It's still going to be Zombs off the back, making the long way around. And it's going to be ShahZaM. Does not check his corners, and that'll be the end of him. Thief getting a pretty easy to land headshot onto the infiltrating Sova. Dapr will answer back with some shots of his own, and now it's just down to Zombs. 8 seconds left on the clock. He's going to save the weaponry, but Immortals hot on the tail of the Sentinels. putting it between one round.
Yeah, 1 round away again, though. We still have Sentinels with 1 map ahead in this best out of 3. This is also the Immortals map pick, so they need to really bring this to this victory so that they can go into the tiebreaker. And the tiebreaker is going to be split if that is needed to be played. And that will have Sentinels on the defense to start things off on that map, too. So it's going to be a tough feat so far in this whole series for the Immortals, but they're up for this challenge.
Yeah, and Split, I don't feel is a map that both teams are quite known for. They're known for their ability to play Haven, their ability to play Blind and Ascent. Bind and Ascent. But Split, we haven't really seen too much out of Immortals and Sentinels on that map, so it'll be a pleasure to see them bring it to the forefront and see what fresh strategies they have developed over the course of time to look. But have a look. It's the economy round for the Sentinels, not really having the weaponry to play. So they're going to be just trying to get a couple of frags and maybe make it expensive for the Immortals because we are getting near the end, and so they want to make every round count as much as possible.
And this is where it's going to be super good here for the Immortals. They get this win versus the Pistols. It's tied 10-10. The big test is going to be into round number 21. As a Cyber Cage comes up here on Thief's side, and he's looking to fall back because I think he wasted both of them right now, waiting for the angle by the window, and they're actually walking into all the timing's off, but at least he has support there from the Sage. So Fury's there with him, and now they peek out long range. There you go. They did have another cage. Orbital trying to come out, though. They're jumping out at the same time, and Dapr does get the kill. And now the Hunter's Fury to come out as well from ShahZaM. So Asuna comes in with a showstopper at least to trade it back. So we do have 3 alive for both sides, as Sinatraa has made it inside that B site. Koler under rotation, but it's traded off by ShahZaM. So a 2 versus 2, Orbital strike up, at least this time, on the defenders. They cancel the flash. Don't shift the corner. Sinatraa gets the kill. Then Genghsta makes it a 1 versus 1. 33 HP remaining, 15 seconds left on the clock, a full HP of ShahZaM, and he has no clue where Genghsta's at. Making a lot of noise so far.
Oh no.
And here comes the plan. He's sticking it, and Genghsta will get the kill before the plan.
That was so close. You talk about... Okay, Genghsta, let's leave the English breakfast till after the match, okay? We can drink tea all we want, just not right now. Now's not a good time, but that was an expensive round for Immortals. They lost every single member except Genghsta, so you can expect, yes, it's the force up here for the Sentinels, but Immortals, if we have a look at their economy, I'm going to take a guess that it's in tatters. They don't really have the... They might have the weaponry, but they might not have the credits moving forward.
My eyes.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you looked at that previous round. It was a save round going through it, and pretty much all of the ultimates were used. The only thing we have up right now is 1 neural theft for each of these teams. And it starts off now with Sinatraa and company of the Sentinels team looking to get control of the orb so they can bring it up for Sinatraa for the run it back.
Ooh, we're getting close. 4 rounds remain till we get to that overtime match. We may not even need it, and I feel like this may be one of the deciding rounds that may push us forward. Asuna already opening up with a frag onto Stick. Sinatraa using run it back. There's Koler in the corner, but nobody puts Koler in the corner. He's going to find out. 1 onto the run it back. Thief will trade one out onto Dapr. ShahZaM will end up taking out Koler, and it's still the spike down. They need to get it planted, but there's only 3 members left for Sentinels.
Yeah, and Thief is the one that's trying to get this information, but ShahZaM lands that shot with that operator. He also picked up the spike so they could fall back and rotate to B if they want to, because he's right next to that teleporter. But his teammates are still behind here on short A at Showers. He can't really run on his own, so they're just going to run that timeout and then commit as a team, possibly with the last few seconds to go in for a plant.
Oh, but Bjor, he doesn't look into Cubby. Asuna gonna find one. It's a great shot from ShahZaM. Sick, not really confident to re-peek that corner, but still, ShahZaM stepped on that blast pack, actually took it like a champion, and now he's gonna get that spike down, but it's still Bjor. He's trying to peek the corner. Zombs with the pre-fire shots, and it's going to be his teammate on the other side, Genghsta, and it's ShahZaM almost there with the ace. But, doesn't opt in to go towards U-Haul. Back to the 1v1. We saw this last round. Will we see it against ShahZaM? Now he's going to be looking in the right direction, trying to figure out where is Genghsta. The spike is ticking, and he's got time. But now that he hears the defuse, he might even just use Hunter's Fury here to try to take him out. But Genghsta, he might commit, and the shot's good! And it's an ace from ShahZaM.
Another $10 dono that I had to give to United Way of New York. But you gotta love it. ShahZaM with the clutch, getting that ace on top of that. A slow play from the Sentinels. Like I said, they wanted to play the clock. Or it was going to be Immortals making the mistake and peeking first, which sort of did. Or they go for a last-minute execution and pray for the best. And it was the latter that paid off here for... or the earlier, actually, scenario that paid off here for the Sentinels, as ShahZaM was able to get that pick-off onto Asuna and give them a chance here to move back in the lead, rather.
You know, even if Immortals ends up losing this best of 3, look how close it is, man, silly. These two teams are, I mean, I would almost even say they're quite close in skill level, they're quite close in their executes. Sentinels have an answer for Immortals, and vice versa, and we're seeing it here live at the Pulse Invitational. Nearing the end of the second half, and potentially the end for Immortals here from the tournament. Dapr with the Spectre looking like a force up here for some of the Sentinels players, and Koler with the Sheriff tells me a lot about their economic position.
Definitely. So the smoke's going to come down, preventing here zombs and Sinatraa from moving through the smoke to play in the unknown to try to get this orb again. ShahZaM still has that Hunter's Fury from that previous round, but at least here for the attackers, they have 2 more to work with them. They have the Sage Res, they have a Neural Theft. For the defenders, they have 2 on their own, and it's Genghsta that opens it up, and we're going to use the res right away at the beginning of the round.
Yeah, the Hunter's Fury are going to try to make that a little bit more expensive as that Resurrection already goes to waste. ShahZaM, and he almost finds that second person. Koler with the Sheriff makes it Sing and Thief. Oh no, we've seen this time and time again. He comes in from behind, the shot's good, but it's already Dapr on the sprint over towards the B site. He's got an Operator in the Classic, and not a whole lot of time to get that spike down.
Yeah, he's actually giving our planet safe, well, sort of safe towards the back of the site because he heard the teleporter coming in from the Ultra area. But then as soon as he peeks out from the back of the box, Genghsta is waiting there. So we kind of switched it over. We have Genghsta operating instead of Bjor on the top of that heaven side. He played it inside the site, got those picks. The defuse will come through as well, and it's going to be tied 11-11. They're just calling for the teammates to move forward so that we have the Cypher that's going to be able to come up and pick up the gun here. Thief thanks them, and it's now 11-11.
Oh, we're getting close. We could go to overtime again. It's possible here. It's very, very possible. But I have to say, I've been talking a whole lot about Sinatraa. I sound like a Sentinels fanboy, and I can only imagine the emotes that are being spammed. But Koler finds 2 with the Sheriff as he goes deep in the paint, in the showers. We didn't get to catch that on because there was just so much going on. We didn't get to catch that, but those 2 kills crucially open up the round for Immortals, allow a much tighter defense that the Sentinels have to use more utility and, in fact, their own resource, their HP, to try to push forward. So a great eco from Immortals, even though Genghsta had an Operator.
Simo, it's okay, dude. The chat's calling me the TSM fanboy, anyways. So we're allowed to be fans of the game. We're allowed to be fans of good gameplay too, and I like to see that from TSM. But I also like to see just in general how good the team play is in Valorant, and we definitely see it in this matchup now. As Asuna peeks out, gets the first kill onto Sick, on the way to retake the lead now for the Immortals, as the spike has been dropped towards the Octagon. Boombot moving forward, giving 1 position away, and boom goes Sinatraa. Asuna caps it with a 3rd kill onto Dapr. Inside Hookah, make that a 4th, looking for the ace, it's been denied. ShahZaM now, retaliated by Koler, and we do have map point for the Immortals in this second map.
Okay, Vatsili. I mean, we're going to get a chance to take a breather after this map because I am already starting to run out of air, run out of steam. The team that is not running out of steam anytime soon, it's the Sentinels. This is the win or lose situation for them. If they don't win this round, they can't take it to OT, and we're going to map number 3 on a map that we saw a whole lot of yesterday. So we'll be quite experienced on that map, of course, but Sentinels, they've got weapons. Does not look like the greatest weapons. Zombs, and I believe one other player had a Bulldog, so let's see what they're capable of doing here. Bjor with the early ult point, and he's got the Resurrection. This is one of those things where I wonder if teams are going to start paying attention to ult points and how many someone has, because I feel like that could have been telegraphed. They might have went for control to get another Resurrection, right? Like, you can see that he's got 6 out of 7. You just look at the scoreboard. But again, it's a point that goes their way. And Immortals, not to mention about ults, they've got 4 on the table ready to go.
So Sick following behind ShahZaM's Owl Drone to try to see if they could spot somebody inside that site. They do spot the Cypher at the bottom of the window, so they will be able to see Thief. Boombot to move forward, but it doesn't go straight into the Octagon, unfortunately. So Sick is in a good position to continue to see if Thief is going to go for a wide swing from that area. Even a shock dart to get him out of position too. That's a bait play, but Thief decides to go inside the hookah. So they're pinning him right now. They're really trying to narrow down and get this frag as Dapr is slowly moving in.
Oh, I like this camera from Thief. You know, early days in the beta, we saw some very spicy cameras that were not legal. They'd find their way up in the ceiling, but this one, very interesting from Thief, just to get some angle. And they're he's gonna see two. Unfortunately, he's afraid. Asuna in a very difficult position, has to dodge the Hunter's Fury, and it's the showstopper to dunk onto Dapr. And now it's the 3v3. Spike is down, and it's Sentinels trying to push in. Bjor gonna stop it. The spray's good, almost gets taken out, and it's down to the 3v2. Sentinels have the spike, but will they get it down?
Have a res too, so it's going to soon be a 4 for the Immortals as Asuna's going to come up, pushing through the smoke. Zombs gets 3 kills with the Bulldog just like that. It is. The tides have been turned. We're looking to sudden death overtime right now. One more to go here for the Immortals, and it is going to be Genghsta with the Operator looking to clutch this right now. We are playing the time. They have an orbital strike, so Genghsta cannot play the time. He has to move quick to at least tap onto the spike. If not, it is GG. Game over. We're going into sudden death. So he taps it now. Orbital strike to come out. No peek coming through as well. It's a pre-fired shot. And now there's no time left pretty much. He's even going to save his op into sudden death.
Oh my goodness.
I think I forgot. All right. I think I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It happens. Okay, that's why Zombs is like, yeah, I'll be okay. I'll get taken out. Overtime, Vancili, overtime. I cannot believe we got to this point, and here we are again. We were in overtime last map, and we're overtime again. If it goes to map 3, will we go to overtime on split? I have no idea, but what I do know is that if Sentinels win this, Immortals are out of the tournament. And Immortals definitely don't want that to happen. Gonna assume they may be in the chat, trying to get some Immortal spams going. I appreciate it. I like the gusto, but Sentinels... Let's see the setup. 2 towards B, 3 towards A, looking for shower control of the orb. And it's Immortals not really looking for that long B orb this time around. Let's see how this next round unfolds.
Big shout out to T1 Foods saying, you know what, he was saving for the stats. Could make sense. Top fragger right now for the Immortals. And he's going glass cannon operator here into the sudden death round for the Immortals. Koler trying to take control of the showers. He spoked it up early, but he's actually not going to go contest for that orb first because definitely you don't want to give any sound cues away and you don't want to be the first one to die in this sudden death.
Asuna saw some amazing plays from him earlier on in this map. You may see, you thought I was going to say the tournament, you thought I was like, in this map. The man is an animal, and he was not looking to be tamed anytime soon. Sentinels still have their standard setup, have swapped one over towards B, still the information game for them, and that information has come up zilch. And it's Sinatraa looking for an opportunity. What can he lead the team to do? As they're now starting to crowd around towards A, and it's the call from Immortals to pull off. It's, oof. It's the call here from Bjor, but he goes back, and now it's the 3-2 split on A and B. Here comes the take. Sentinels, they're ready.
That's right, the bolts are coming down. The wall is going to come up too, so we're seeing that same strat that they had towards that pistol round. Recon dart to come down, Molly on the ground as well, and the spike is down. But 2 kills simultaneously coming in favor of the Sentinels. They do have that 1-minute advantage. Spike has now been picked up. It's looking to get planted towards Tetris. Genghsta waiting towards that heaven side. There is one. Oh, the spray comes across. It gets at a halfway HP only as Thief is trying to spray for his life through that. Now he's getting pushed here with 2 players inside you. It is looking grim. A 4-on-2 situation in favor of the Sentinels. Looking to close within 2 maps. Genghsta the last one to go. He does get the first shock dart. Oh, wallbang does not connect. But now they're peeking, they're spraying, and he's stuck on his lonesome at the heaven side. It is looking so dire right now on this retake for Genghsta as they walk through the place. Sinatraa is waiting right under heaven. This could be it, Simo. This could be over right here.
Yeah, in a great position from Sinatraa. All he needs to do is step back, and it's Sentinels that move on to the semifinals. Immortals, they will unfortunately fall after 2 back-to-back overtime matches.